been a full year with the MacBook Pro M3 Max, and let's just say this thing has been put through its paces. 4,100 euros, that's what this laptop should have cost. But was it a smart investment or a complete waste of money? My honest long-term review starts now. Okay, full disclosure time. I actually didn't plan on getting the M3 Max. I was perfectly happy with my Mac Mini M2 Pro and was looking for a portable machine and an upgrade, so the M3 Pro was on my radar. But then I stumbled on an insane deal. I ended up getting this 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3 Max chip, 32 gigs of RAM and a 1TB SSD for just 3,500 euros. The original price, as I mentioned, a whopping 14,100 euros. And yes, I'm a little salty that the M4 Max is now cheaper. It's about 3,800 euros. Still, pretty expensive. But here's the thing, even with the discount, this is a serious investment. So the big question is, after a year of using this as my daily driver, has the M3 Max actually been worth it? This review is all about helping you decide if this beast of a machine is right for your workflow and your budget. Alright, let's talk about how I actually use this thing. My day job revolves around content creation. I'm editing 4K video footage shot on my Sony a6700 almost daily. That's S-Log3 10-bit 4:2 footage, by the way. So pretty demanding stuff. I'm color grading in Final Cut Pro, adding motion graphics, audio plugins, transitions, the whole 9 yards. I'm also creating YouTube thumbnails in Affinity Photo 2, working with raw image files. Beyond that, I'm constantly juggling multiple apps. Notion, Xtiles for project management, Freeform for brainstorm those big picture ideas, Apple Notes for scripting, Safari for research, and of course ChatGPT to help me fight writer's block. So basically this MacBook Pro is my command center. I'm throwing everything at it. So how does the M3 Max handle all of that? In a word, effortlessly. Honestly, it's almost comical how fast this thing is. It doesn't really matter if I have 10 apps open, a complex Final Cut Pro timeline and a massive Affinity photo project. It just doesn't slow down. Let's get into the specifics. Video editing is where this machine truly shines. I'm working with that demanding 4K S-Log3 footage, and scrubbing through the timeline in Final Cut Pro is buttery smooth. Even with multiple video and audio tracks, color grading and effects applied. And rendering, just forget about it. A 10-minute project with all those bells and whistles, it renders in about 2 to 3 minutes. On my old Mac Mini M2 Pro, that same project will take at least double, sometimes triple the time. Not to mention that it's not so snappy and so fast. Affinity Photo 2 is another area where the M3 Max just blows me away. I'm working with large raw files, creating thumbnails with tons of layers, and I've literally never experienced lag. I don't even know how many layers I could add before it starts to struggle, because it hasn't happened yet. And for everyday tasks like browsing, emails, streaming, writing, it's obviously overkill. But that overkill translates to an incredibly responsive and fluid experience. Everything just flies. When it comes to battery life, when I'm pushing it hard with video editing, I get around 5 to 6 hours on a single charge, which I think that is still pretty impressive considering the power we're talking about. But for lighter tasks like browsing or writing, general productivity, I can easily get 2 full work days out of this thing. Thermals are surprisingly well managed. It gets a little warm to the touch when I'm really pushing it with video editing, but it's rare. The fans do kick in sometimes during those heavy renders, and you can definitely hear them. But it's nothing like the jet engine noise of the old Intel MacBooks. And probably because most of the times I use it with the 12 South stand, it's very rare to have the fans kick in. Okay, you know what? I feel like I need to talk more about this. Because to be honest, I can't remember the last time I heard the fans kick in. And I'm pretty sure. The reason is that I'm using this 12 South stand. You can use another one. The thing is, because it has this gap here, there's pretty much no heating happening, which is why I'm truly trying to remember the last time I heard the fans kick in, and I just can't remember. So it makes a really huge difference using something like a stand that has no base and the air can circulate. Just to let you know, This really makes a huge difference. Back to the video. Now let's talk about ports. This MacBook Pro has 3 Thunderbolt ports, and honestly, that's been more than enough for me. I do use a docking station most of the time, which expands my connectivity options, but even when I'm using the laptop on its own, I rarely need to have anything constantly plugged in. I'll occasionally connect an external SSD for backups, pop in an SD card to transfer footage from my camera, and if needed I can connect an external monitor via the HDMI port or one of the Thunderbolt ports. So I've got plenty of flexibility. If I had to complain, and this is a big if, to complain about something, it will be the lack of USB-A ports. A lot of peripherals still use that connection, but honestly it's a minor issue. I just use a simple USB-C to USB-A adapter when needed, so it's not a deal breaker at all. The Thunderbolt 4 ports themselves are incredibly fast, and I haven't had any connection problems whatsoever. I just do what I need to do without any problem, without even thinking about it. Okay, the big question. Is the Max chip worth the extra cost over the M4 Pro? And honestly, for most people, probably not. The M4 Pro is an incredible capable chip. It will handle most tasks with ease and you'll save a significant amount of money. But, and this is a big but, if you're a professional who relies on your machine for demanding tasks and time is literally money, the M3 or the M4 Max does offer a tangible advantage. That extra headroom means less waiting, faster renders, smoother workflows, it all adds up. So if your daily routine looks anything like mine, heavy video editing, complex photo manipulation, running multiple demanding apps simultaneously, then the Max chip is worth considering. It's about eliminating bottlenecks and maximizing your productivity. I personally see it as a really good investment. So let's break it down. Here are the pros and cons of the M3 Max MacBook Pro based on my year-long experience. So the pros: unrivaled performance for demanding tasks, excellent battery life for its power of course, a stunning display, best-in-class keyboard and trackpad, phenomenal speakers for a 14-inch laptop, solid build quality, and future-proofing to an extent. And the cons? Very expensive. The M4 Pro offers better value for most users, can get slightly warm under heavy load, the fan noise can be noticeable occasionally, and it's a fingerprint magnet, this color, the space black color. So after a year, do I regret shelling out for the M3 Max even with the discount? No, I don't. For my specific workflow, it's been a game changer. The sheer speed and responsiveness have made my work more efficient and frankly more enjoyable. But, and I want to be clear about this, the M3 Max is not for everyone, or the M4 Max in this case. If you're an average user or even a power user with moderately demanding tasks, the M4 or M4 Pro will be more than enough. You'll save money and still get a freaking amazing laptop. So the M3 Max or M4 Max is a professional tool. If you know you need that top tier performance and you're willing to pay the premium, it's an incredible machine that won't disappoint. But if you're on the fence, seriously, consider the M4 or M4 Pro. I made videos about them, you can check the links in the description below. So I hope this long-term review helped, and thanks for sticking around. And what do you think? Are you thinking about getting the M3 Max or M4 Max, or does the M4 Pro seem like the better deal for you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.